morning, everybody.
Here.
Morning.
Morning.
Good morning.
I need care for
Okay.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
I need to.
Well, this is Hope Sunday number 3, the last one of the summer, and this morning we have Danielle Floyd. I think she's development coordinator. Is that your title?
Donor relations. Donor relations.
Donor relations. She's going to tell us about senior resources and Meals on Wheels, which we do Monday and Tuesday of every week. A cute story with that, it's like you deliver to these adults, we have our
Right down here.
when Jeff and I first started doing it, we were delivering, and we delivered to Drink Small. And so we come back and we go, this guy's name was Drink Small. And we didn't know, we had no idea who he was, and so we come back and Steve Blow said, Drink Small! Wow, it's like this famous jazz musician. So we ended up, he came and did a couple concerts for us.
Oh, that's awesome.
So the relationship, you never know what you're going to run into. And then Kate Williams is a director of Christian Assisted Bridge. We have a partnership with them. Our Stuff of Us will have items for cab on it. At Christmas time we collect for them. Like in the springtime we'll do a collection for them. So they're a wonderful organization that is based up in Blythewood, helping the clients. So we'll let Danielle speak first, and then Kate will.
Hi, good morning.
Morning.
Danielle Floyd with Senior Resources. So I am the Donor Relations Coordinator. So I come out and do stuff like this and help spread the word of Senior Resources and the services that we provide. So our biggest program is our Meals on Wheels program. Right now we are serving around 600 to 700 weekly. We do our we were doing hot meals. We now are doing like daily meals Monday through Friday to around 300 to 400 clients. And then we also have our frozen routes for clients who kind of like are a little bit out in the rural areas. So like up in Blythewood, Chapin, Eastover, Hopkins, where we can't feasibly get volunteers to every day. We deliver once a week by a staff member. So they're still getting that wellness check, that community, and then they're getting their meals as well. So we deliver out of 3 of our locations. We have one out in Spring Valley. Our main office is on Millwood downtown, and then we also have a location out in the Irmo area, so we're able to hit all of Richland County. Meals on Wheels is our largest program, as well as we have 4 wellness centers. We have one in Blythewood, one in Hopkins, one in Eastover, and one in downtown Columbia. So we provide transportation to and from our wellness centers Monday through Friday. And those are for seniors who, they're not quite homebound, but they are still facing that social isolation, as well as like a little bit of food insecurity. So we are providing a little community, so they spend, I think they're there from like 10 to 1 o'clock every single day, so they're like building a community with their other members, as well as they're receiving the same Meals on Wheels lunch that we deliver to our Meals on Wheels clients. And then we also have a lunch bunch program that is for seniors who are still very active, they're very mobile, but they are just facing a little bit of social isolation. So we have, they meet once a week at a local Lizard's Thicket. We have 4 of those programs, so we're actually meeting 4 days a week, but they choose one to go to. And they do drive themselves, they get a lunch at Lizard's Thicket. We have companies come out and like present to them, play games with them, but they're really there just for like a social hour. And then our other program that we have is the Laurie Center. So that is, we joined forces with the Laurie Center 2 or 3 years ago, and that is a community center for seniors. That is our only membership-based program, and the only program that you do need to pay for, but it's very affordable at like $10 a month. So we have a full gym there, we have exercise classes, we have a trainer on staff, and then we do a lifelong learning throughout the year. We have different lunch and learns, different classes, as well as our Laurie lecture series, which happens twice a year, one in February, one in October, and those are just week-long series throughout the month of October and the month of February. So we're very like high on like lifelong learning over there. So what we have been dealing with over the last year are like major funding and budget cuts through Richland County as well as state and federal funding. So what we're focusing on now is just trying to get more of our split from private donors, corporate donors, and like business partners instead of through government funding, so that when we do have like cuts in the funding, our seniors are going to be less vulnerable to those cuts if our funding is coming more from like private donations. So right now we're about at 70-30 with most of our funding coming from government sources and 30% coming from private sources. So our goal in the future over the next couple of years is to kind of switch that around to where 70% is coming from private donations and just 30% is coming from like government funding. So we have had to recently cut some of our clients. We've had to cut out our home care program and then make some like staffing changes. So our goal is to add those clients back as resources allow. We've already added 20 back, and we are working on adding 5 more back next week. So that is our main goal at Senior Resources right now. Have any questions, comments, concerns?
What's the home program you were talking about?
So we had a home care aides program where we had home care aides that went into the homes of like our Meals on Wheels clients. So while we have had to cut that out, we do still offer our AmeriCorps Seniors program, and part of that is a senior companions. So where we have seniors going into the home of homebound seniors. So we're trying to transfer like our home care aides into that program and our clients into that program as well. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So we don't have like a ton of home care programs. That was our smallest program that we had. But we are still trying to like transfer over to our senior companions, so they're not losing that service. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes.
The funding that you talked about, is that state funding or
So our
federal?
state and federal funding has remained flat, but with the increase in like our rising fuel costs, we've had an extra $2,000 a month in fuel services. So that is actually what it costs to feed a senior for a year, that we are now paying monthly just in gas prices.
Wow.
So while state funding has remained flat, it's actually kind of a decrease because it's not keeping up with the inflation. And then our Richland County budget has gone down due to their changing their granting process. So that has lowered. Yes.
They're getting less federal money also,
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
Richland County, so.
Yep. Yeah. That's why their granting has changed, because they're also receiving less.
I have a couple of questions.
Sure.
One, can you tell us how someone applies or is eligible for services? Second, the Blizzard second one is a new one to me. I was just wondering like how someone gets involved with that, like a family member or something. And thirdly, if you're transferring more to public-private donation, how's that going to look? I mean, you may not know yet, but is it major gifts? Is it more fundraising activities?
Okay, so to be on services, we do have like an online application, and you can also go through Central Midlands. And we are encouraging those to go through Central Midlands because they have their own process, and then they pay for who we put on service. So it's actually like a little bit easier to get through, but we will evaluate you on both sides. We'll do it on our side, and they'll do it on Central Midlands side, and whichever one has money freed up first, we'll
Central
pull you
Midlands
from.
Foundation.
I'm sorry?
Central Midlands
Yes.
Foundation.
Yep.
Okay.
So I can't give you like, you have to hit A, B, C to get on there, but we have a social worker on staff that will go out and evaluate, and it's really based on, are you homebound? What's your financial situation? Are you able to cook meals for yourself? Do you have outside help? Do you have family living in town? So there's a lot of different, and like I hate answering it that way because it doesn't give you like a real answer. But it's not just like you have to hit a certain criteria, it's kind of a base by base. For Lizard's Thicket, to get involved in that, we also have the application online. We do two days a week at the Columbia Garner's Ferry location, and then we do 2 days a week at the Blythewood location. So Makia Burgess is the director of community-based services, and she will get you put on. I don't know if there's a waiting list for that right now. I don't think that there is, but don't quote me on that. And then she'll get you started on it. And as for transferring money more towards like private donations, it will be like major gifts, stock gifts. You can put us in like your will for that. We are going to be upping our like fundraising. Like our next big fundraiser is in October. It's October 17th. It is Biscuits and Bluegrass, and this will be our 8th year doing it over at the Hangar Hunter-Gatherer off of Rosewood. So we will have like a live band there. This year we will have a face painter and balloon artist for the kids. There will be like an impact board, so we'll get donations from companies in town, and then you kind of like bid on it. We have 2 weeks in Hilton Head at a condo down there that will be up for on our impact board, and that is our biggest fundraiser of the year.
Still have your pet program, or has that gone on the wayside?
So that has not gone away, but we are focusing more on donations to actually feed the seniors. But if we are getting money dedicated towards the Pet Pals program, we are going to continue it. And we do have private donors donating for at least, I think, the next 4 months. It costs about $1,500 a month to do the Pet Pals program, and we do have pledges as of right now to keep it going. So as long as we're getting donations specifically for Pet Pals, we will keep it up.
Can you explain that?
Yes, so the Pet Pals program was started, I think, around 20 years ago. We had volunteers that were coming back and saying that they were noticing that the seniors were only eating half of their meal and giving the rest of it to their pets. So it was actually a volunteer-led program. So we are delivering pet food, believe is to 92 pet clients right now, which is around like 80 Meals on Wheels clients. So we deliver a monthly supply of pet food the 3rd Saturday of every month. So as of right now, that is continuing as long as we continue to receive the donations for it. And hopefully in the future, we'll be able to permanently bring it back.
Years ago, the Junior League ran I was part of that, ran a donation. We didn't think we were going to get anybody to donate because we went to the vets. Because he drops off food at their vet, right? I had a garage full of food. I could not believe it. People were so generous.
Yeah, so we do have, Dr. Griffin at Griffin Animal Hospital, as well as CVets, they do a yearly pet drive for us. Dr. Griffin's she's a longtime supporter of Senior Resources. But yes, I do know the Junior League. I think we did a food drive as well. I'm also part of Junior League. Yes.
How much do the Meals on Wheels run? And do people get it, how many days a week?
Every day.
Every
so
day?
We deliver, well, Monday through Friday.
Okay. And so what's the bottom limit and the top limit that people pay for that?
They don't pay for Meals on Wheels. That service is free.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Oh,
So the only service that we charge for is our Lori Center.
Okay.
Is the Lori Center, yep. And that's more geared towards like early retirees. Just trying to, keep them active and not just like retiring and going home. We're trying to keep them active in the community. Yep. Yes.
Have you had to have the budget restraints made you cut people from the deliveries, and
Yes.
are they, we do it in Fairfield, and they said that they had to cut X many, but they're on a waiting list for, as they get funding, they'll add them back on. Is that what you
That's
had
what
to
we're
do?
doing. So we did, I think we had to cut, I want to say 100 from our services. So in order to do that, we had, we went through like their health need and like their financial need, as well as were they habitually not home during meal service, so they weren't actually receiving the meal anyways. But we have encouraged all of them to get back on the wait list, and we are working on adding them back onto. So right now we have added 20 back. We're going to add 5 more next week, and we'll continue to add as our resources allow. Yes. Yes.
Kind of staying on that. To give y'all a real life thing, we deliver every Monday and Tuesday. So the last house we delivered to, y'all know exactly what I'm talking about. The people live in I'll call it a shack behind a brick home, and they normally get, they were getting 2 meals, and now they're only getting 1 meal. So you're going there, there's a man and a wife there, and you can tell they're down and out. And so you're leaving 1 meal for 2 people. And that just breaks my heart. I mean, that's a real life situation, a result of what has happened. So
I'm on long-term care in my home, so I guess I'll need to just have my helpers fix my meals, because I won't qualify.
Well, you could still be put on, like, I can't tell you like the exact, because I don't do the qualifications, but if you want to give our office a call, they can let you know what resources you would be qualified for.
Thank you.
Yep.
The pet delivery, is that like a different route? Because I don't see that every.
It is. So we have Pet Pals route, so that would be like our only weekend volunteer opportunity. So leading up to the third Saturday of the month, you come and like pick up the pet food from our office, and then you can deliver anytime that Saturday, but they are different routes. Occasionally, if we don't have like that route filled, we will throw the pet food out on their normal route. So our Hot Meals volunteers will deliver the pet food, but it is a separate route. Yeah.
Before the sort of the current situation, what was the wait list time? I remember Andrew was telling me that.
It depended on how many people we had. So occasionally we would have just a few people on our wait list, so you would get on a little bit quicker. But I think right now we're up to over 300 on our wait list right now, so it is going to take a while to get off of it. Yeah. Yep. So I've been at Senior Resources going on 4 years, and there's only been one time since I've been there that we have cleared the wait list out. Yeah. We have people calling every single day to get on. Yeah. Yes.
Will you be doing your Christmas boxes?
Yes, we are. We will be ordering them around September, and they will be available for pickup mid-September. So we do a shoeboxes for seniors. We are actually changing the name of it this year to Project Joy. We didn't love the shoebox aspect of that. So we are calling it Project Joy this year. So you can pick boxes up from our office. I think y'all did 150 last year?
I think we did
Ish, 100?
last year. I think it was 150 the first year.
Yes. So you just put in like little gifts around like 5 or so little, like you can do like socks, calendars, like that kind of thing, and then we deliver them the beginning of December so that all of our Meals on Wheels clients, all of our Lunch Bunch programs, and all of our wellness centers at least receive something for the holidays. And this will be our third year doing that. Yep. So we're very excited about it. Any other questions?
So is there any other way that we could help with the crisis then?
Volunteering, donating, spreading the word. Just if you have any leads on like corporate donors or anything like that, just let us know and we'll reach out to them. So just, continuing to spread the word of Senior Resources and kind of just what we're needing right now. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, and now we'll have Kate Williams from Christian Assistant Bridge.
All right, remind me what time y'all get out of here.
When you're finished.
I'm sure your pastor would not love that.
It's 9:40, so about quarter after 10.
Awesome. How many of y'all heard me speak last time? Almost all? Okay, I'll give you a brief rundown of what we do for those of you who haven't heard, and then we'll push quickly since y'all mostly heard about us. We are a food pantry, and we use food mainly to draw people in and then to help them with their budget. Our goal is if we can get them to increase their income or decrease their expenses, we can actually help them a lot further than just by giving them a box of food or $900 for their rental assistance or $50 for a gas voucher. Our goal, for the most part, most of our population, is to decrease expenses, increase income. Then the hard population, which when I saw that Danielle and I were together, I was like, whoever did that was the smartest person ever, because we share a lot of our senior adults clients, and so that was really clever. How we do that is, for instance, last year y'all heard me talk about Flossie, And she calls me every holiday and every summer break, crying her eyes out because she doesn't have food, because she gets Meals on Wheels, but her granddaughter is with her whenever the holidays in the summer happens. So she gives her food to the granddaughter, and then she doesn't have any food. And so I know that she's going to be calling every holiday, every summer, and in between here or there if something happens, right? And so we share a lot of our senior adults. It's probably my most frustrating population because I can't increase their income and decrease their expenses too much because they're usually right on the border all the time. And so we like to have long-term impact, but with that population, there's not much we can do other than, all right, let me sit down with you. All right, you haven't called your phone bill this year. Let's see if we can get a decrease. You're still with your original auto insurance. Let's call and get a decrease. So we can do that, but that only goes so far. Our other portion is saying, okay, are you on Meals on Wheels? Are you with other programs that we can tap in to kind of help out? So that was a perfect, because we share so many of our people. Another thing that we do is a financial assistance, rent, utility, other that we don't tell people about. If you come in with a water bill, we're not going to help you with your $1,000 water bill. We're going to pay for a plumber to go to your house and fix the leak, right? Someone else can help you with the $1,000. We'll call the water company, tell them it was a leak, show them. Typically, they'll decrease it. The plumber typically doesn't charge as much as they would you because we're nonprofit. And if we can save money there, then we can help them a little with their water bill. We don't advertise that we help with water bill plumbing because then everybody would come to us with a plumbing. So it's very case by case. If you're in our office and we realize that there's a problem that we could fix, we will fix it. A great example of that is we have a little extra money in our budget right now. And so what our counselors do is they come to us and they say, this person, this person, this person, if we pay these bills, they could actually be making it. And we'll sit down as a group and we'll bring our little applications of who we think deserves it and can really make a difference. And then we will call them and say, hey, that payday loan that you've been paying 45 to 75% interest on every month for that $500 bill, we're going to wipe it clean for you and start fresh. So that is after the client doesn't know we're doing that. We'll meet with them. For instance, I'll tell you exactly about this one client payday loan. She did not come to us for financial assistance. She came to do a budget with us. She said, I don't understand how I can never get ahead. I just want to know what's wrong. And so our counselor spent 2 hours with her doing a budget. The bulk of it was she would take $400 of payday loans, and then that would be a 54 to 74% interest on that $400. The next, when she got her pay loan, she would pay it, and this just kept on going, right? One emergency just set her back. What we told her is if you come to us every single week and you show us where you pay extra on your payday loan, we'll give you free groceries for that week, right? That's something we don't advertise that we do, but if we're in a meeting with you and you are actually like engaging with us and we can tell that you actually want to get ahead and this isn't just free money, that you're actually going to put the work in, we will work with you and say, okay, you know what, you'd be spending $50 on groceries, $80. We give that to you, you can put it on your payday loan, you can get ahead. So that's what we're doing with her. She comes in and shows us and gets excited. We are a little over the top like we would a kindergartner celebrating, because it's a huge deal. Like, you know, to get ahead when you're not, you've been struggling for years. So we celebrate, we get excited. Because at the end of the day, that's what we're really here for, is to move the needle. And if we can make it in her life, then that gives us tons of joy. So there's a lot of assistance that we don't advertise. Because if I ever said I'll help you pay off your payday loan, everybody would be coming to us, right? That's a case by case. You come to us, we're talking to you. We have a little extra money. You've been spending the last 6 months showing us where you're paying a little extra here and there, and you've got skin in the game. Then when we have our private meeting a couple of times a year with our extra money, we will present and the counselors will vote on whether this person has been actively involved in getting ahead. And that brings us the most joy, right? We have sat with numerous people, senior adults, whose kids have gone to jail, long-term prison and things of that nature, holding their hand, letting them cry, just walking them through serious things in their life as they watch their kids make horrible decisions, and they have to figure out how they're going to take care of grandkids and all that. We have paid for probably 30 bunk beds in the last year for our grandparents that are taking in grandkids that would have been entering foster care. Mattresses. I finally told them, please just send me what you want and I will have it shipped to your door. Because my back and mattresses were just not working. But numerous things. We have a small population that we work with, and our goal is to be whoever's in front of us. We want to love them intentionally and take the time with them and see if there's any way that we can move them to success. That's our goal. So we use food, we pull them in, and hopefully they'll let us help them, right? You guys help by your food donations that y'all do. We are struggling so much right now. I placed an order at Food Lion for $1,000 that I'll pick up on Tuesday. I'll probably be going shopping today. That $1,000 of food will probably make me until Monday. This year, the last 12 months, July, we did 197,000 pounds of food given out. July, the year before, it was 140,000. So we're growing. That's not a good thing. We like to be decreasing. We'd love for less people to need us. When I was here last time, it was our senior adults. They were getting $1,200 in Social Security. Their rent was $850, and then it got moved to $1,200. This time, I'm seeing a little different in that our population here, and I can only speak to my group, they were making ends meet with rent increases by doing gig work. Lots of Uber, DoorDash, Spark, which is the Walmart. And now that's not making it because it's more popular, and so they have more drivers, so they're getting less work. Some of our younger folks realized that they were getting so much money doing that a few years ago that they quit their regular steady job. Well, now everyone's doing DoorDash, it's less money, and so they're not getting far. Sometimes boring with our finances is better, and so they're kind of hitting where DoorDash, all those things, they're just not making enough. And then our single mothers, which is heartbreaking because they're the ones that are like, well, I'm an hourly employee, I do gig work after work, when do I get to see my child? And that's the most frustrating one, because we know, if you have a 8-year-old, 9-year-old, 10-year-old at home, you really need to be spending time with them, right? So these are folks that are not getting child support. And that's the most frustrating. We had, I guess, a couple of years, I was at Publix, and this is not my client, but I was at Publix, and there was a girl that was filling an order for someone, and I heard the son go, so now we can get a house after this one? And I was like, oh, way to go, Mom. You know, just to include him on what she's sacrificing. He understood this was for a house, and he was shopping with her. You could do that when you have an 8-year-old, because they can kind of go with you sometimes. Much younger than that, and you don't have anywhere to put the groceries. So it's a difficult situation we have going on. It's kind of shift a little with the rent. We have voucher programs that have really stepped up with our senior adults, but we're still struggling. I am encouraged in the last couple of years that the state of South Carolina has made financial education a requirement in our high schools. Praise God for that. That as long as those teachers take that course serious, the kids can at least get some really good information from that. A majority of my senior adults that meet with me personally have never done a budget ever in their life. The first time a senior adult told me that, I thought that she was just like, oh, I've never done this. And in my head, I'm like, yeah, you've done this. It's just been a while, right? And then as I've worked with senior adults, I realized, no, they have $500 coming in. They just spend it until it's out. They have no idea. And that's been really eye-opening to me. So I love my population. I'm so grateful for them. This summer has been hard, but we're getting back on track. Y'all will be the first food donation that's come this summer, basically. So we are just ecstatic that maybe I won't be spending so much at Food Lion. And maybe I won't be on first name basis with the managers. Josh and Stephanie are wonderful. But they know me way too well this summer, and I'd like to distance that a little. Do y'all have any questions that I can answer about where we're at and what we're doing? What you got?
What are your volunteer opportunities?
Right now, we have a few that I would love to do. Right now, we would love a group to take on calling every single one of our clients that's come in the last year. And just to say, how are you doing? What's life looking like right now? Is there any way we can pray for you? And jotting down notes for us so we can follow up with them. So it's not good enough that we're doing a budget. We'd love to follow up and see how they're doing, see if they've kind of fallen through the cracks. We'd love that. We have about 1,400 people we could be calling. And then we have, right now, we've just trained about 20 volunteers to work in the pantry. So we need to get them settled first, and then we'll take another group of volunteers. And then in November and December, when we get most of our food donations come in, we can have special days just to sort that food, because we kind of live off that for about 4 months. That's most of them. And then organizing food drives as well. Anybody else?
I think you opened up for Tuesday. It was Monday and Thursday.
Monday and Thursday. We're open 9 to 1. Whenever you get to a high clients, you become transactional, and that's not our goal. So we're at 40 clients in about 4 hours. That's really the most we can do without just, here's your food, that kind of thing. So we opened up on Tuesday. We have churches that are taking over each Tuesday. We have the 5th Tuesday that someone hasn't committed to but hasn't said no to. So I'm in the limbo on that. 9 to 1. We're ranging between 9 and 17 clients during that day. And hopefully, prayerfully, once the word gets out, we can start dropping to about 35 clients on the other days and kind of spread the love. Our goal is not to be transactional, and it's so hard when you get in the mindset of just getting something done and having a list or going to visit your seniors and dropping off food. If you volunteer for senior resources, drop off the food and leave. Your goal should always be to love and care for the person that's directly in front of you. And if you can do that, you're winning, right? But if we become too busy with our clienteles or too in that work mind, we forget that you might as well not be volunteering, right? And so the point of it is always to whoever's in front of us, most important person, let's not be too busy that that person gets kind of rushed out the door. Let's build relationships. It's easy to say, hard to do, right? Because if you have a doctor appointment after you're supposed to bring in all those senior resources, food, and you're just like, here you go. It's very hard to do, hard to remember, but that is the most important thing. Build relationships, love on them. You might be the only person they see that week. Okay?
Speak about your counseling program. Are they volunteers? How are they trained? Is there a need for more?
Some are volunteers better than the others. I just trained my last two, and I told them they're getting the B training with me. But they will come and they sit with, so they're financial volunteers. They will sit with the counselor, the main person, kind of see if they like it. And then if they like it, then they'll come back and they'll train. What they'll do is just kind of watch the first time. The second time they'll be kind of leading the conversation. And it usually takes about 4 times before you're kind of trained. And you're kind of learning with each client, right? And then by the 5th time, you're by yourself, and you're just doing the budget, and you've already been trained by one of the counselors. But there's going to be a more senior counselor that's going to be with you. So they might be in the next room, but that way you can run and be like, this person just said that they don't get paid any money, but they have $1,500 rent. What do I do? You know, you need someone else to be answering those types of questions. And then you say, well, they do get money. They probably have a household person or a mom or dad paying. How do we do this? So those are always in high demand, and that's a hard position to fill because sometimes you're having hard conversations like your mom didn't give you a car, she gave you a $500 loan. And your $500 loan car has a $300 car insurance on it. That's $800 plus gas. You can't afford it. You won't be making. And those are hard conversations to have with people, right? Another hard conversation that I have often is they will bring me in for this conversation. I'll sit down with a 75-year-old woman and say, next to their daughter or son, and explain to that 75-year-old woman why her son or daughter needs to be paying rent if he's going to live there, or needs to be moving out if he's not helping. And having that conversation of what are you bringing to the table? Why is your mom cooking your meals? You're a grown adult. You know, like those, that's hard to do for some people. Very easy for me. But so that's probably why they bring me in for that one. But we have those kind of hard conversations. But it's important to have someone that's outside the family look at your budgets, tell you what's going on. And it's fun too. I love it.
Where does your cash come from? Is it grants or donations or fundraising or all of those? Or?
A little of all. We try to have a pretty good diversity among our giving streams. Lots of it comes from donations from individuals. We have church partners, about 17 church partners that partner with us. Y'all are one of those groups. The benefit of being a church partner, well, one, we're amazing, but more importantly, is that if you have a church member in this church that needs food, you do not go to the store. You just call us up and say, hey, we're a church partner. I'm going to minister to this family. I'll bring this food to them. And you just come and get that food, and we put it under your church's name. The reason why majority of people that need food are not going to ask for assistance, but y'all are here and y'all can see the need. So if you know there's a single mother that does not have a helping partner, co-parenting situation, and it is back to school and they're going to spend a lot of money on that, then you can say, hey, we'd love to give you groceries this week. Call a cab, we get the groceries ready. As long as you're ministering to them, we are not. What does not count is if you see someone on the side of the road and you just want to give out food, that's not what counts. We're not just randomly giving out food. You're investing in ministering to these people. And then another way that y'all can help, I did not mention this, is tell people to come to us. You might not be able to tell person in your church to do a budget. But if you send them to us, and we'll be like, hey, I'll give you a $25 gift card if you're just here for food to do a budget. Come in here. Let's talk. And we can have conversations that maybe might feel a little uneasy for you sitting next to them with you. So.
I can't say enough about the financial literacy. Do you go beyond, and I know it's not your job, but like what I see in my day job is that 90% of people have no idea what a deductible is for health insurance or anything. Like they don't understand it, they don't understand premiums. A lot of people don't even know if they have insurance, and I'm like, it's being drafted out of your account. A lot of people don't use banks because then they have to pay taxes. And then they have like their child support drafted out, so then they also don't have investment opportunities because they're not putting anything in the bank. I mean, where do you start?
It's a lot, right? At first, we're just trying to get them to survive the next 6 months, right? We had someone that was volunteer that was amazing at Medicare information and signing them for the right health insurance and just giving them that information too. Fabulous. She's no longer volunteering with us, but we're looking for someone to kind of fill that gap. But they'll still call and be like, oh, is so-and-so working there? And I'll give her home phone number.
That's a great resource.
Once you volunteer, you can't stop. But no, so that was a great resource. But yeah, and then this coming year, we're trying to do a different thing with churches that do Dave Ramsey or any kind of like financial literacy in the churches. Telling our church partners if they're doing that, we'll pay for our clients' books and whatever with our line item if they're willing to do it. Because there's so much more than we could cover than in a 1 hour session. But we'd love to do it. Our clients that get excited about finances will come back once they get back on their feet, just to be like, hey, what about this, this, and this? And we have to remind them we're not financial professionals, but have a seat. We'll treat you like it was our household, how we handle it. But yeah, it's teach your kids finance, right? Majority of our seniors got in a hard place where they sold their house because they were told that they'd get more money and they wouldn't have to maintain their property. The problem is they could control how much their mortgage was. They can't control how much their rent is and how much it goes up. And that was huge issue that we had this past year. Anybody else? If y'all want to volunteer as a financial counselor, I will not train you. You'll get trained by the A-team. But feel free to sign up and see what it's all about. You have to be able to say at the end of your visit, can I pray for you? You can't just pray for them because then I lose my government funding. So you have to say, can I pray for you? And you need to be able to invite them to your church and tell them, hey, I sit on the third row from the back at the 10 o'clock service. We believe if you can't sit with them in church, you have no business ministering to them Monday through Friday. So, thoughts?
Do you have a separate training for the people that take in the food items and sort it in your pantry?
So we'll typically, this month we'll have one new volunteer every single time we're open, kind of training on how to do that. And then we just throw them to the wolves after that. They get used to it. It's pretty fast training for the most part.
Yeah.
Pretty simple. Yeah.
What's your biggest need?
Right now, food, so thank you so much for doing this stuff with us. Right now it's food. Also, we really need our community members to let us know of issues in the community that we could be fixing. So if you see a need that we're not aware of, right, like Senior Resources just said, Danielle said, they didn't know about the pet problem until someone said, hey, their food's not lasting. Information like that is golden. That's actually how we started our Richland 2 line item, moving kids out of hotels into apartments. Because someone in the community said, oh, it's not if they're going to the hotels, the bus always runs to the hotel. And then a senior adult said, I just got custody of my granddaughter and I can't afford a bed. That's how the program started with beds. So just letting us know, and if we can figure out a way to fix the problem, help with the problem, and it's not duplicated services, right? We'll step in and try to do it. But if we don't know, we can't help.
Is it all of Richland County that you serve, or just the Blythewood area, or?
For food, it's anyone who walks in. For budgeting, anyone who walks in. Financial, it's certain zip codes, unless a church, it's one of our church partners calls and says so-and-so is coming in. They're, regardless of zip code, we're always going to see if we can help. Not always help, but always see if we can help. And then we're trying to open up a new zip code. We'll see how that works. So typically we'll put $10,000 in a budget and see how it works. And then if we can keep it and sustain it, we'll do that. But the goal is always not to duplicate services. We don't want someone going and getting their rent every single month from a different organization in Richland County. We want to help people that can't get help other places. That's the goal, and that's very hard to do. That's our goal.
Current zip codes again.
Oh, you would ask me this. Dyslexic people don't know numbers, and it's not on here. It's going to be basically Northeast, Columbia, Blythewood, Elgin, and another one almost closer to Columbia area. And then the zip code that we are trying to see is going to be the Spring Valley area, to see if we can open up a little in there, because they're kind of not represented as much. So we're just seeing, and then anyone that's in Richland 2 school district that's living in a hotel, if the social worker refers them, we help them get out of the hotel. And that's kind of protects our donor money, because everyone who lives in a hotel is going to want to live in an apartment, but not everyone is going to be able to keep the apartment. And so the social worker makes sure they can. And then doesn't matter what area you are, is if you're in South Carolina and you are helping kids without homes, so foster kids stay away from foster care or become a foster parent, regardless of income, we want to be a part of that ministry. So whatever you need to set up your house. So if someone down the street says, I want to be a foster parent, but they said I have to have a fence around my pool, we'll call a social worker, make sure that's true. We'll provide the funds for a fence around the pool. Whatever we can do to be a part of their ministry to foster kids, we want to be. And so regardless of zip code, so it just depends. So if you email me and say there's a church member or someone that I'd like you to help, then we see them regardless. All right. Thank you for your food donation.
So I thank both Danielle and Kate. So if you want to sign up for Meals on Wheels, you contact Mike Davidson. We do the Meals on Wheels from Millwood. There's also an opportunity to do it from Sparkleberry, which is in the northeast area. So you could sign up for that, and then our Stuff-A-Bus this coming Saturday is going to be collecting food items for CAB.
In addition to the backpack. Yeah, so Kate's got some flyers up here, make sure you get those. Just a couple of things. You were talking about family, like I'm not sure, it's been in the journal and newsletter and other places, but I always discover people don't maybe remember that or see it or read it. So, you know, for the first time in a long time, maybe 20 years, that the CDC downstairs is keeping a food pantry, because we have all of our parents. There are more parents who are with child care costs and so forth. We had a parent up here this past week and connecting. We were able to take care of those, but I had cab in the back of my mind for her. But parents who are like working multiple jobs, and it's sort of that downward spiral of like, how much do I have to work to afford childcare, and then figuring out if I have to work more, then I need more childcare or whatever. So to think about families we're serving in our child development center who are now needing food assistance because of being food insecure and are working at least one job or perhaps multiple jobs. Sometimes it's because of family situations, single parents and so forth. So that's just these resources are there. We have grandparents who are involved with caring for their children, primary caregivers for their children, but downstairs in our child development center. So that's just another reality that's in our front door right now, and appreciate all your support for that. Didn't mention with senior resources, if you know, Deacon in the South Carolina Lutheran Synod, there's the bishop who's the head clergy person, but then there's, just like we have a president, who's Debbie, the Synod has a vice president who's the head lay person. So Deacon Lexan was the Synod vice president for a long time, but then her successor is Andrew Boozer, who's the executive director for senior resources. So we've got this, neither here nor there, but just a Lutheran connection that Andrew's a faithful servant in the church and also does so much of keeping senior resources going in powerful ways. So a connection for prayer there as well. I appreciate both these servants of the Lord, and we might pray. Let us pray. Oh, good and gracious God, we are overwhelmed with your blessings in our lives, and we are overwhelmed with those who just are in search of even the basic necessities to live from day to day. We thank you for the ministries of Senior Resources and Christian Assistant Bridge and all the ways that they faithfully echo and your love in this hurting world. We pray for all the families and individuals in our midst, seniors, children, others in between who just not sure what each day may hold, but know that you have put people in the world to reflect and share your grace, and pray that we might hear that call and respond with your love. Just bless these ministries, that they may always be conduits of your care for all people, and that we may know your call to partner with them in every way possible. For it's in Christ's name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you all very much. See everybody either at worship now or at 4 o'clock this afternoon.
Very good.